buildup on your hips.
I'm 50% scar tissue
Right?
now.
I remember there was a while that I just had lumps back there that were just always there.
What's that? A Red Hot's chili pepper scar tissue.
Is there?
Yeah. If we're going on, I won't look it up.
No, you're good. We're live, but we always start with this bullshit, and I mean that in a good way. Ooh, that was kind of cool. That's my mic stand.
Sounded like a guitar strum.
Yeah. It's bass.
Now wait, if I bring it and then make the spring go stretch it out, well, maybe it'll. That doesn't change the tone. No. Damn it!
Nice try.
High quality audio entertainment here. Somebody should hit record because this is gold, fucking gold. This is how you get to be one of the top cycling podcasts on iTunes.
You ready for the?
You just ramble.
do a
Yes.
sample.
Yeah.
Just a sample because.
Because YouTube will
Only
tell
do
us
5
we're
seconds.
profiting off of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's not it.
Oh, is it the ad?
Oh,
Oh, it's a survey.
Survey.
Yep.
it's a survey. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's scar tissue, by the way. Go.
That's our
I
theme
never-
song. For
Oh,
you.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Their last good album was Mother's Milk. I'm gonna go out on a branch and say that. I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna.
I
die
like
on
all
that
their
hill.
stuff.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't?
No. There were some songs that were really cheesy for a while there. And if I heard Under the Bridge one more time, I think I was gonna scream because they sang it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, before we begin, let's take a moment to mention that we are in the midst of the greatest summer ever. That's right, Packfiller Gooder summer promotion is fully underway. We have a limited number of special codes. I know you keep saying, Pat keeps saying limited number. I think we're getting down there. So, special codes for you to use to make your face look better than it ever has. Using the one-time code of Packfiller15, you, the friends of Packfiller, can receive a 15% discount on what is already the most affordable, yet high-quality eyewear on the market. Brilliant designs, colors, special edition releases. Jack must be here because my dog hears him. That you can afford to wear multiple styles all summer long. Get to packfiller.com, click the link to Gooder, and be sure to use the code on your one-time discount using the Packfiller Gooder summer. So, while we wait on Jack to show up in person,
There you are.
let's start the show. You let a fucking bug in. And you let out all my AC. Oh,
Or Scottish, yeah.
the irony is what you just opened is on tap.
Really?
Yeah.
I just go over here and pretend.
Yeah. Spill a little in the drip tray. Hey, it has arrived. The post-tour depression has settled in. Well, at least it has for me. But hey, not only do we have a race to reflect on, we also have the women's tour. We have San Sebastian this weekend. I think I'm right with San Sebastian this weekend, isn't it? Yeah. And, your friends here at the Packfiller to share in our post-race depression. Welcome to Life on Two Wheels. Welcome to the Packfiller Podcast. I'm Pat Bulger. The gang is here, and boy, do we have some catching up to do. So, gentlemen, when I introduce you, please respond to the following question. If everyone came with a warning label, what was yours say? If you had a warning label on your forehead, or you had to hand it to somebody when you first met them, what would your warning label say? Is everything working, Jack?
Yep.
Cool. You sure?
Yep.
All right. First off, he's the only guy I know who personally can ride 3 hours in sweltering heat, have 2 beers, and still find a way to be productive, Mr. Palmain.
Hi, Pat. How you doing?
Good, and you, man?
All right.
I don't know. You were like, we left that ride, and you were like, yeah, I got to go do some shit.
And I did.
Yeah, and I didn't. I got home and I slept.
Yeah. The heat doesn't bother me.
Oh,
Cold doesn't bother me, except I'm miserable in my hands.
yeah, your hands. If you had a warning label, what would it be?
Flammable gas on board. Without a doubt. You can ask my kids.
I believe that one might have won right out of the gate. We haven't even got to anybody
Do you
else.
fart in bed and pull the sheets over
The
your
Dutch
wife's head?
oven?
Dutch
Yeah.
oven.
No, not with my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I tried that once.
She'd kill you.
Once.
Yeah.
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 You survived it?
You don't
Barely.
hang me on a hook.
Yeah.
My mother hung me on a hook once.
Once.
Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah.
Joe Piscopo.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Can't remember
It
what
was
it-
a good show.
cheesy, but
It was
good.
terribly cheesy, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Second off, he's the only guy I know who very likely spends more time in his car than he does his own bed, Mr. Jack Broadhead.
Oh.
I'm just talking about how much you drive all
Yeah.
over the place.
I'm a
man.
driver.
Yeah.
I should get an Uber.
You're not a
should be-
literal driver, but I mean, 2 days ago you were in Vancouver, and now you're back here. And how
Yeah,
long?
well, I
you
was
here
in
for?
Hoquiam. I went Vancouver, Hoquiam, did a little work, came over here this morning. Yeah.
Shit, man.
Uh-oh, shit.
Oh,
shit,
don't answer
shit,
the call
don't
to
answer.
Phil.
Nope.
If you had a warning label,
I got to put it in the right spot.
It's on vibrate mode.
Jack gets perky at certain points
Yeah.
through the show. Jack, if you had a warning label, what would it read?
May make a left turn without warning. Is that a warning label? Like
Yeah.
farm equipment.
Unexpected. Unexpected
What's
left
farm
turns.
equipment?
Poor
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah. Poor time.
Oh, Jack, that was horrible timing, and we're gonna tell you why
Figure
it was
it out.
horrible
Yeah, yeah.
timing.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
No, it's just to the people in the studio right now, so that's okay.
Okay,
You
good.
just
Yeah,
insulted
yeah.
one of us. You didn't like.
Oh,
make
I don't
some
give a
make-
shit
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
that's
So,
yeah. Well, fine.
And so why don't we get to him? So third, he's the only guy here who has crashed in the past week. Mr. Jackson Bulger,
yeah.
how are you, man?
I am okay. I'm doing all right.
Seriously, how are you?
I'm all right.
Right?
Yep.
Jackson got a little road rash. We're gonna get to the story here
Yes.
Is this your first time?
Crashing? No, it's I've had a
No,
couple,
he's
but
had-
this
For
is,
this type
Yeah.
of incident, yes.
yeah, this is probably the worst one.
Wow.
Yeah.
shortly. Oh, the time you went down in that crit outside of Hoquiam,
In Elma.
that was bad.
Yeah.
He's described that before.
You
That's
basically looked like you came off a cheese grater.
You should have seen me the other day.
Were you pretty bad?
Yeah. But we'll get to it, obviously. My warning sign,
Warning sign.
or my warning,
Yeah.
whatever. Warning
Unable to
label.
make commitments.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Probably will forget a lot that you say.
Do you?
Yeah, I forget a lot of stuff. I get caught up in my own world and I just
Tune out.
forget.
Fuck, you got that from me.
Yeah.
I apologize. I so apologize. You definitely got that from me.
No, it's okay. It's, you know,
I
blissfully
names,
in my own world.
Names, things like
I'm
that.
bad at names.
I'm bad at names. I'm bad at certain things, and I mean no offense to people, but sometimes I just get and I just disappear, and I
See,
just don't pay attention.
You know, it's not names necessarily. It's more like things to do.
Oh,
I always forget that I have to do some stuff
oh,
or like pick up something or bring something. I always forget that.
I'm a king at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Forget
wife reminds me I'm good at it too.
so there you go. I think
All
we
too
all need
often.
that one.
Yeah.
It's part of being a guy.
Mine's selective
Yeah.
hearing, though.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is selective hearing when my wife tells me people are coming to the house. Most likely people from her family, and I don't mean that bad. I love her family, but a lot of times I'm like, wait, what? When did you tell me this? She's like, 30 fucking times. Really? No, you didn't. But she does the same thing. Me, I'm the only guy here with 2 beers on tap in the studio, yet only usually still drinks 1 beer a day. On top of other things. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
The Jameson.
You're just trying to make friends.
It's a desperate cry for attention, isn't it? And that's kind of why people start a podcast. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm just fitting the bill. While they won't listen to me, maybe they'll come to my house and drink. If I had a warning label, it would simply say "always judging your behavior," because but I would never say anything out loud about it. But
Just
I
on
do.
a podcast.
No, well, I do. I'm a judgmental fuck. I will admit that I've just watched. I'm a huge believer in common courtesy, and when I don't see it, I grumble to myself, and my wife hears it, and she goes, "Shut the fuck up!" And I'm like, "I know, I can't help it. I have
Yeah,
to
I'm
do it."
judging right now.
Yeah, I'm judging. So let's get to it. I do want to talk about who rode this past week. I know, Jack. Hopefully, you probably rode like 6 of the 7 days.
They did.
You
Yep.
did?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, we got 6 and an 8-mile run on the 7th day, or on one of the days
With the spousal unit.
with the
too.
spousal unit. Yeah, I felt like we were schedule wise, we had to do something, and it was easier to just when I leave for a ride. Sometimes I'm gone too not necessarily too long, but we had a
Yeah.
schedule to keep, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go with you.
Okay.
So that way it was we were tethered.
I was gonna actually. I will go next because I was gonna bring that. Actually, no. I'm gonna get to that later. But hold that thought.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Paul, how'd your ride week go?
I just got the two, one by myself
two.
and the one that you and I did. And I was so happy because my heart rate was at fat burning
Slow.
level. I had
It was low.
37%. Yeah. And I need that because I'm the heaviest I've been in 20 years.
Wow.
We had a couple conversations during that ride. One was, the fact that we both realized we were both tired.
Yeah.
And it was kind of nice for once to go on a bike ride where we weren't just like going, just out of nowhere, somebody lights a firecracker off, and it's like, ah! Then you keep going, and there's never really a decision of when something's going to start or when something's going to end. You just keep going until somebody either cries or
throws in the towel.
Yeah. But that was one of the first rides I've ever been on with you where you actually were like, I feel like shit. Let's just kind of casually ride this thing. That blew
You
me
agreed.
away.
You're like,
oh
yeah, hell yeah.
He still dropped me on the climb.
1000%.
Yeah, we did 4 mounts. He still dropped me on that huge climb, which is that when you're riding those climbs and it's super hot and you're going the same speed as the tailwind,
Hot as hell.
That sucks.
Yep.
and it's completely exposed.
Nothing worse than a
That was-
tailwind on a
that was
hot
terrible.
day.
That was terrible. And I forgot what the other thing I was going to talk about with you. That's just how short my attention span is, Jackson. Again.
Oh, we
You're
had
just
good
gonna
beers
be honest.
afterward.
We did. We had delicious beers afterward, and I was completely drenched on the beer patio, and I was glad that nobody told me to leave because I was disgusting. But I finished a ride like that, and my pores just open up. It's just like
Dumps.
and I'm just I'm just swamp thing in the corner, just going, just give me a minute. It was so bad, but then oh my god! And the first sip of that beer was just
Where was
I don't have
that?
to.
Benedito's. Yeah.
Nice. So you didn't have to get far home.
Me?
No.
No.
Yeah. Well, you know.
you're
yeah. You,
Yeah. I'm not going to
You
encourage.
could walk in your cleats.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
encourage
exactly.
drinking and riding, but sometimes those rides home are kind of
Yeah.
funny. Jackson, let's get to it. You've got a story to tell, my friend, because the ride on Saturday was Sunday was your brainchild. We were, you were one banging the drum, and we all decided upon a time to meet. And I would like to say that I take partial blame in where the story's going to go because I moved up the ride time. Because I said, I'm not doing the show with John Galloway and David Stanley today because we want to do it after the race is over. Let's bump up the ride. So we bumped up the ride.
Boom.
Jackson.
Yeah, so I was really excited for this because I have been on soon-to-be in-law wedding. So one of my fiance's siblings is getting married soon. And so I've been doing a lot of stuff involving that. So I haven't really been able to ride that much in the month of July. So I had done something on Wednesday, and then I was excited for this because I hadn't ridden with you guys in a while. And so, yeah, I planned it. I picked the route. We all decided on that time and then we switched it a little bit. But yeah, I was excited for it. I was coming down. I live probably the farthest, as we've talked about before.
You do. Yeah.
So I was just coming down. I made it 5-6 blocks, if that, probably even 4. And then I was coming up to a stoplight, and I saw this grouping of cars, and I was in the bike lane, and I looked over, and I always look on the right side to see if there's turn signals on, just to make sure. And I hadn't seen one, and I had this weird like like Paul, you and I talked about it, that sixth sense of like I had this weird
It's your Peter tingle.
yeah, exactly, it's my Peter tingle. The hair on the back of my neck was standing up right when I started passing cars, and then at the last second I saw somebody flick one on, and we met at the same time. Shit. I thought as the car turned, I was like, there's no chance I can really stop. And so Yeah, it wasn't as bad as those noises, luckily. But they started to turn right, and I leaned into the car, and I thought, oh, I can keep this up. I thought I had a good enough handle on it. But it was going, I was probably going 20 miles an hour, probably faster than that.
Yeah.
And I was leaning, and then they kept going, and then I had nothing else to lean against, and I just smacked against the ground. So bad so that I started pretty much wailing on the ground. Like, it was like one of those like rolling around on the ground type of moments where it hurt so bad. Man. And yeah, people were really great. People got out of their cars. There was a guy trying to turn left on, like, he was in the turn lane, and he was the first car in the turn lane. He got out. He put his car in park and like made everybody else wait. He was making sure I was okay, but I immediately sat up, and I was like, I felt around, and I was like, I looked at my elbow, and I knew my shoulder and hip were pretty sore. But yeah, I was able to stand up. The guy who like turned, got out of his car and was really like apologetic. He was super sorry. For some reason,
exchange information too,
yes,
right?
Yes, yeah. In my, for some reason, polite nature, I went up and I shook their hand, and I said, "It's okay." And
wait until you get my bill.
Yeah. Hey, fucker.
Yeah.
You get a PMC. You get a PMC. Everybody gets a new bike.
Yeah. But no, it was. I was just happy that it was okay. I stood up and I immediately went to my bike, because that was the thing that I knew I was okay. If I stood up, I knew I was okay. And I picked up my bike. My right lever had gone in a little bit, and I could just smack it back out.
Sure.
The hoods are pretty torn, so I ordered new ones, but that was it.
Wow.
No paint chip, no flat tires, nothing happened.
I'm still the only one who chipped his paint.
Yeah.
A car didn't fucking chip his paint.
Yeah.
But I chipped his paint.
Yeah. But yeah, now I just have some pretty intense road rash.
Yeah.
That's about it.
How's the kit?
It was funny because I was thinking, oh, I should wear the Arrive kit today because it's gonna be sunny, and if I wear a dark kit, then I'll just attract more sun. But I wore like the black, the black Packfiller kit that you gave me.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And so I wore that jersey with our old shorts, with the Castelli shorts.
Yeah.
The jersey shredded.
I've got more.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the jersey, the shoulder didn't shred, the side didn't shred. It was the pockets.
Really?
Where I hold my pump, it just tore that one.
Wow.
My shorts, I'm gonna say it, big up to Castelli, because
they're good still.
They didn't even get close to shredding at all. No tears, just a little bit of my own bodily fluids on them, but that's about it.
Let me ask you this: is this your first incident with a car in your cycling career?
Yeah,
like training. First training accident.
Yeah, I've never made a collision with a car.
Tell me, did it? And I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there who've had them, who've not had them at all. Things like that. Does it change you? Does it? I mean, I don't know. Have you ridden since?
I haven't been like physically able to.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. But I mean, mentally, are there any thoughts of gun shy? Are there any things like that in the back of your head or something like that?
It's funny. I got back and I was telling my fiance that it's like, I'm not scared to go back out.
Yeah.
That's not it. It's just like, it hurt.
Yeah.
That was it.
It shook you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really that bad.
Really?
Weirdly enough.
Really?
It was more like, it just kind of hurt. That was really the thing that was the worst. When I went into it, I was really calm. Really calm when I touched the car, everything. Even when I stood up, I never freaked out. It was just like, oh, okay. Now I just kind of after it all happened, I knew immediately right when I sat up. Even when I hit the ground, I knew that it was fine. I didn't break anything.
Yeah.
I knew that I fell correctly. Nothing. It wasn't fast enough to a point where I was like, I probably broke something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I've talked to all you guys about this, but there comes a time in your cycling life where a almost different, I mean, and you mentioned it, a seventh sense or whatever it might be comes into play where you start to look at a car and it's just driving, and you can think to yourself, there becomes this instinctual signal that just becomes where you can look at a car and go, that person doesn't see me, their signal's not on, but I know they're going to turn in front of me. And you can almost read traffic that way. Do you guys experience that? Am I just blowing smoke in my ass?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just, subconscious. When I see a car coming to an intersection, I look at the driver. If they don't make eye contact,
Yeah.
there's a problem, because they will see you. I mean, if they see you, they'll kind of make eye contact, but especially when you start getting closer to the intersection. So that's always it. But when you're like in Jackson's situation where you're coming from behind, you have the bike lane,
Yeah.
and you do the best you can. You're looking at all those turn signals. That's kind of hard, because he probably went, "Oh, this is my."
Yeah, you're
that's
expecting
what it was.
the driver should be aware that they're crossing in front of a cyclist that they've passed. I
Yeah,
mean that's
exactly.
like a no-brainer. I ran into that recently in Vancouver, where a semi was behind me, blew past me, and took the first right turn.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I mean, but again, I'm aware, like Pat said, you've been through a couple incidences, and then you expect something. You're just on your guard, knowing that this may happen, and you can survive the, take a right, hit the brakes, whatever. But it definitely looks.
I had a woman in a motorcycle actually do it and apologize to me while she was doing it. She was just like, sorry, as she was going by in a Harley that was pink, way too big of a bike for her. You could tell. I mean, it was like she had no physical control over this beast.
Little whiskey throttle.
Yeah.
Just like,
well, her fucking accountant husband probably bought it for her.
Hey, head out and die,
We're
lady.
gonna get cool. It's like, why are you calling me babe? You're an accountant. Sorry, darling. We're gonna do this, but when we go, I'm gonna talk to you like, hey, babe. And it was just, and she just was like, sorry. I could tell she had no control over the device, and I wanted to
so
tell her to fuck
judgy.
off. I am.
He's judging her.
I was. Oh God! But I saw her. I saw her, and she came slowly by me, and I saw her kind of look at me, and I went, "She's gonna fucking cut me off," and she did. And it's just, you develop that sense.
You should have rode along with her and said, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
sorry, right back at you.
Hooker bars.
Yeah.
So sorry. Turn off the bike.
Jay, I don't want to belittle what you dealt with, but I'm so glad it was an incident where it was get up, walk away from. There are too many times, and I don't want to turn this show. We got a Tour de France to talk about, but there are so many times in our cycling world where we hear stories of car versus bike where it's too much, and I would love to go into depth about the fact that there's such a cultural misunderstanding and lack of understanding. When you see people out there who don't give a flying fuck about us, who don't see us as actual human beings, who think you don't pay taxes on these roads. I own a fucking car and a house, you twat, and it's just
and an RV.
Yeah, an RV. Yes,
Yeah.
kiss my ass, and it's just, it makes me so angry sometimes. But sorry, off soapbox. Anybody want to finish that off, or should I get to the tour?
Might as well get to the tour.
All right, the tour. Hey, I was gonna, you know what? And I'll bring this up some other time. But I because of Jack, and still because of Jack, I did a couple trail runs this week, and I don't know why, but I'm
Because
doing
of
it,
me.
yeah. So let's get to the show.
I'm rubbing off on
Well,
him.
I'm sure everybody's done some serious reflecting on the
stuff.
tour. Yeah, exactly. Some serious reflecting on the tour. I'm also sure that every podcast has done the same in terms of post-tour reflections and things like that. Here we are on Tuesday. Tour ended several days ago, but I don't want to repeat what everybody else is saying here, so we're going to keep things a little bit more open. So I'm going to throw just random kind of larger arching questions at you. I guess we could go, and I'm going to just see what you guys have from takeaways from the 2022 Tour de France for the men, at least. We're going to get to the women here shortly. But in terms of kind of rapid response, biggest surprise of the race, if you had to come up with some gigantic what moment, and there were a lot of them, I would like to think, of this tour, what would be your biggest surprise of the race? I'll let Jackson go first.
I think Jonas Vingegaard is pretty obvious, but I think that's too obvious, and I'm gonna say Geraint Thomas. I think he rode probably one of the best races he's ever ridden, and I guarantee that this Geraint would probably blow the 2018 Geraint out of the water. I think he would have won that tour if he had this form in 2018. I think he probably would have won it by like 5 or 6 minutes.
That's a very interesting point about so many things, especially how the sport has changed.
Yeah.
I don't mean for, higher performance levels or anything like that. I just mean how the dynamic of the sport has changed. Jackson, since you said it, does Ineos walk away from the tour? I asked this on the other show. Does Ineos walk away from the tour happy in your mind?
I think they will, because I don't think they ever thought. I don't know if they ever thought they would win this tour without Bernal. But they got a pretty big stage win from Pidcock.
Best team.
Yeah, best team and third overall. I think they'll be pretty proud of that. I think they're going to be disappointed with Ghana, though.
Really? They were hoping for a stage.
I think they wanted. I think they probably wanted him to win that.
Yeah.
Win a time trial.
Okay. Jack, biggest surprise of the tour.
Pogacar being fallible.
Human.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is
you almost expect him to look like one of those guys in that John Carpenter movie, They Live. Where you put the sunglasses on and he's got the robot face behind it. You guys know what movie I'm talking about? It's a fucking terrible movie with Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah,
the wrestler.
You guys seen the movie?
No.
You guys seen the movie?
No.
Okay,
Sorry.
listeners at home, They Live. If you guys want to waste about 2 hours, sorry, I rambled.
It's fine.
Tade's weakness.
Well, so just everybody. They always say everybody's gonna have a bad day, and he hasn't had one in 2 tours prior to this, that I remember anyway.
No.
And he had like 3 bad days if you think about it. I mean, the time trial, he was a shoo-in for the time trial in a way. I mean, he should have destroyed. Everybody was like, I've said it too. Jonas needed a couple minutes on Pogacar to guarantee a tour win.
That's what we were all thinking.
Fucking destroyed Pogacar.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 bad days. But the wonderful thing about it is Tadej proved to be, for his age, an amazing sportsman.
Absolutely.
Yep.
This just how they were with each other from when Jonas took over to the end really showed class that we talk about all the time on the show where the old guard and the way it used to be and all that and how it's all gone. I kind of have to think it's maybe different, and it's the traditions are still can be upheld by these young guys, so it was amazing.
I'll ask you this as a follow-up.
I think I like him more, Pogacar more, even though I was rooting against him, than I did, at the beginning of the tour, just because of how he presented himself.
Yeah. So. I'll ask you this as a follow-up. Jackson got a follow-up. I'll ask you, were there any villains in the race? Were there any people you were rooting completely against that you thought were bad guys, or we can all probably think of riders in the past who were like, anybody but that motherfucker. Were there anybody in this tour that you were like, no, please not?
Not any of the GCs, and not certainly. I mean, there's definitely some sprinter rivalries and stuff. Sure. That was all very interesting. But I would say I rooted the most against Pogacar.
You did,
because of the David and Goliath thing he's got going on.
Yeah.
Everybody for now 3 years has been talking about him being indestructible.
Yeah, and
so then my natural instinct is to root for a David,
an underdog,
Goliath.
Yeah.
And I saw Vingegaard as a potential podium guy. He just turned out. I mean, so I would have to say not so much villain, but I hoped Pogacar would
guess what I'm
be
saying is
fallible.
just like it seemed like there was such professionalism. Everybody's just like going,
Extreme.
"Oh my god, that was brutal." Hey man, great job.
Yeah,
you
patting
know,
each other on the
and they're
back
making
and-
snarky comments to each other on Twitter,
and a lot
and
of
just-
after the sprint stages, and I think the
Yeah.
the professionalism in the peloton right now is high. It's at its highest in a long time.
Yeah, it seems
So.
like a perfect
Mm-hmm.
moment. This is a Camelot
Everybody's sort of
moment.
rooting for each other, proud, happy, amazed,
Yeah.
complimenting people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Paul, biggest surprise.
I would say Jumbo
This is my
Visma's,
rapid fire question that's
yeah.
taken 12 minutes. But you know what? No, we're getting good shit out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I like the surprise was Jumbo Visma's strategy. I mean, they went out to win the yellow and the green, and no one thought that's possible.
Yeah.
You know.
And they ended up with polka dot.
And the polka dot on top of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So they
I thought Wout was going to get polka dot.
and he
that would have been amazing.
Think about it. Last
Would've been
year,
amazing.
He almost did.
I know.
Yeah.
if Vendigo was 1 year younger, because he won it last,
With the
he
white-
would have been in
yeah,
the white jersey.
yeah.
Shit.
So, yeah, I admire their strategy. I like the wow moment is this tour was like, and I mentioned to you, Pat, it's like the 80s. They used to race, and I mentioned to you, I said, well, Jumbo Visma's director is Franz Maassen, and everybody knows who Franz Maassen is. If you don't, he used to race with Jan Ross as his director, and that's the hardcore of the 70s, 80s attack. I mean, it was really sending people up ahead, you know, and people like, what's Wout doing? Everybody's like questioning it.
Yeah.
And even Sean Kelly's like, this doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
professionals
It makes
are like-
perfect sense.
yeah,
And the time in stage 11, when Pogacar lost all that time, you think about there's two guys up, and you watch
Two climbs to go.
two climbs ago, and
just-
who was Laporte was the first one, or was it Van Hooydonk? I can't remember. One of the two basically set up, packed, got food, water, dropped back. Here you go. Giving it to Roglic and Pogacar, giving them fuel and everything.
Jonas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so meanwhile, here's Pogacar's totally isolated. He's lost all his teammates because, you know, he had to chase and his teammates couldn't.
But I think he did it chase unnecessarily Roglic. He chased so much. He chased so much down.
Well, you think about it though. I mean, if Roglic still has two teammates up, so he lets them go,
yeah.
then those guys are coming back to pick him up, and then now, you know, it
seems
was
if
well
he would
played.
have let him get some time and then
But he's all by
explosively attacked to catch Roglic, that would have been a better strategy than get on his wheel. The jump. Let some time. Even if you drag Jonas up with you, you're going to go through a maximum effort to get to Roglic, and then you three are together, not that group that was beating up Pogacar. He just he killed himself.
Yeah, he did, and he even said that he was a little bit cocky about it. So.
So we mentioned teams, and Paul, you mentioned teams. So here's your follow-up. We're in a world where we're talking about teams being relegated now. We're entering this soccer / football kind of a mentality where teams could be dropped from the World Tour. Lotto Soudal, Israel Premier Tech are on the bottom end of that. So what do you? First, I'd like to ask you, and this kind of strays, but you mentioned the strength of Jumbo-Visma. What other teams do you see in danger there, and what are your thoughts on this concept of teams being dropped from the World Tour based upon their performance levels?
I think, I don't know if the point system is totally fair or not. That's for somebody else to judge. I kind of like the idea. I think there's a lot of teams like gosh, I can't even think.
B&B Hotels
I was
is
gonna
about to
say.
dump a ton of cash into it.
And so it leaves like a lot of teams that there's only 18.
Cofidis is above both of these teams.
And you can see they're starting to stack it up. They're
Yeah.
preparing for this whole thing. So they're able to kind of like front load their team and stuff.
Yeah.
Alpecin, think about, they were one level now, without a doubt. They're there.
They're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for Lotto soon just to be Lotto. I mean, they
Yeah.
gosh,
Soudal's going to Lefebvre.
uh-huh,
Yeah. So
to Quick Step.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are
So
they losing to
I think it's a good thing. I don't see a problem with it, but I think through time they'll probably fine tune the relegation part of it. It might be a little bit heavy on the tour wins
yeah.
and not enough on classics or
Yeah.
blah 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 or these other races.
Guys, did Tade lose this or did Vingegaard? I keep saying Vingegaard because that's what I'm going to say. Did Tade lose or did Vingegaard win? I know that sounds weird, but for a while there, throughout the past couple weeks, I've been asking you guys, is this Tade's tour to lose? And we all said yes. Did Tade lose or did Vingegaard win?
I think neither. I think UAE lost it.
Really?
I think this was the tour that showed team versus individual, because UAE, if we're really being honest, was horrendous this tour. I thought.
Really? Now, in
think-
terms of, Mark Hirschi had probably the oh, thank you, sir. Mark Hirschi had probably the worst tour of his
Ever.
could
Yeah.
be expected. Yeah, and I think he was riddled with COVID and things like that. But
I think COVID killed Tade's chance at this tour win.
losing Bennett,
yeah.
yeah,
I think losing George Bennett was a really big deal. I think, losing Matteo Trentin the night before, or whatever, that sucked. And then I think the two domestiques that really kept him in it were Brandon McNulty and Rafael Micah. Other than that, that was really the only chance he had. And then Rafael Micah couldn't finish, but he was the best domestique that
yeah.
Tade could ask for. But I think this showed how much weaker they were after a while.
And Rafael Micah broke his chain and did
hurt
not crash
himself.
out the peloton
Thank you.
and did not destroy his testicles in the main scene. I mean, I don't want to be all manly about this, but if you break a chain, your nuts are going into your stem.
No, he
Especially
tore his
standing.
glute though.
He tore his glute.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what happened.
Oh man.
better than a ball.
Yeah.
So
I believe that should be your
a
warning
t-shirt.
label.
Yeah, better than a ball.
Better than a ball. It's not a warning.
Can I say one thing about
No.
the team and the basically UAE being undermanned, and it's a very serious race. Your protocol, like the same with Sagan. I mean, if you're not taking 100% care of your team as a whole and you're losing guys, shame on you. Yeah. And you can't just say like, oh, well, I'm not going to get COVID. You can't say that. But I guarantee there's some precautions that Jumbo took that UAE didn't, that Sagan doesn't, that some of these guys that booted. I mean, UAE lost half their team from COVID.
Yeah.
There's something very early on when Matteo didn't make the starting line
No, he couldn't. Yeah.
that you got to like sterilize everything and go, okay, everybody's separate hotel rooms. Everybody, we
Yeah,
have
seriously.
21 days to go.
Yeah.
The other thing is on the cobbled stage, Jumbo had it was a shit show. 3 bike changes on Jonas.
Yeah.
Roglic going down. Wout in the middle trying to figure out who to save.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was looking like I'm going like this is over for Jumbo. They're the one of the best
I
teams
thought that
and
was
there.
it.
This is
I
over.
didn't think that was it. Yeah.
And they came out shining like a diamond at the
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how strong they were.
Yeah.
Total shit show to amazingness. That's pretty amazing. So
Were there anybody else who surprised you for not being up there? Any other riders? I am trying to figure out how, without Matteo Jorgensen, Movistar justifies their budget. They had an atrocious tour.
they
We
should have
can
brought
all
Vandevelde.
probably-
I mean,
Valverde.
Valverde.
Yeah,
Sorry.
seriously.
They should have brought Vandevelde.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
come
still
on,
would have
better.
done better.
I know.
Hey, Horner, want a jersey?
Yes. Shit. Sorry.
Nah, Chris is just talking about what he did.
Yeah.
What he would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to be the director. Is there anybody else that surprised you about just like their lackluster performance? I guess I could say.
I would say almost all of Astana. Astana's always
Forgot
been
that was
there.
a team.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a time that they were in the red
Uh-huh.
based upon their winnings versus their penalties and their fines?
Yeah. Well, Lachenko was sick early, and that was their man. But there was Miguel Angel Lopez. He was nowhere to be found. There was, I mean, they were never seemed like ever in a break at all. They had the worst. They were the worst team in the whole thing.
Did Lopez ride the tour?
Yeah.
Did he really?
That says something.
I was about to go to my roster and like,
I'm
fuck,
pretty
is
sure he
his
was
name
there
on
because
That's
there was a
crazy.
big doping thing behind that too.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oh my god.
I'll double check.
Yeah, no. No, I saw Premier Tech and I automatically thought that was it because Litsenko, Badaliska, Dombrowski, Lane, Grissom, Moscone, Gianni Moscone.
Who got COVID early and he was gone.
Did he? Velasco? No, he isn't on there.
No. So it
Well,
wasn't
this is
He didn't make the tour.
no, he didn't make it. He's doing
He had
drug
a
deals, I
horrible
guess.
tour.
Yeah,
That's why we
exactly.
never saw him.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
as Ajay Dessert had a horrible tour, except for thank God that Bob Youngles.
Yes.
Yeah, had
Youngles.
that.
Yeah.
Mr. Bob Youngles.
Yeah. Mr. Bob Youngles. Okay.
Biggest disappointment?
No. Yeah. Sure. You got one.
Jakobsen.
I was thinking that too.
He won a stage.
Fuck. Cavendish won 4 and didn't even train for the tour that year.
There were not that many stages for him to win.
He should have won Champs-Elysees.
I was gonna say
What
the
happened?
same
And
thing.
He dropped a chain.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
well.
and Sagan.
Oh,
That's
So-
what happened.
you don't do that in the last lap of the.
I
How
know.
dare
This
you.
is a problem. There's
This
so
is
many
the
mechanicals
World
that
Tour.
are unbelievable.
Yeah.
You notice how
And
Paul
dropping
found some
changes.
way.
It's
to,
12 speed. It's
yeah.
12 speed to blame.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Hey
the part
everybody!
of it-
Paul found a way to bring mechanicals into it.
Their disc brake was rubbing, and they looked down and dropped the chain.
Speaking of which, my bike went into crash mode this weekend.
See? There
and
you
then
go.
I was gonna ask.
It did. My bike went into crash mode, and then I immediately was able to get it back to the big ring.
How?
Is crash mode just
Shifting.
limp home?
It
Is it limp home like a car?
It drops the rear
There's no
derailleur, drops the rear derailleur to the lowest
Never-
gear on the
oh.
bottom, so you can
So
get
you
the
can do a wheel
off.
change.
Oh.
In the back.
Winter
On
pro
my SRAM
teams.
app, I wonder if I can.
You can use the front
Change that.
derailleur
Oh,
on,
yeah.
on
When
crash
are
mode.
pro teams gonna have some sort of an override, program
In the
that
team
they can
car.
just go full?
They're like, up,
No,
Jakobsen. You're
no,
gonna-
just the mechanics the night before just go like, fuck this shit. We're turning off the crash mode. This is bullshit.
Oh, because then the thing is,
They
is
should be
then
able
you
to do it
have
from
like
the car.
yeah, but then competitor can go by and go.
No, I'm saying
Set trick
like
crash
you
mode.
can plug into the bike and change the format of the system.
To eliminate the crash mode.
Yes, turn it off
Yeah,
altogether.
I think that would make sense because they do bike changes anyway. They don't
Yeah.
do wheel changes.
Right.
Yeah.
A very few
So-
wheel changes.
Yeah.
Can I ask also what's the fucking point of crash mode when all of us most of us throughout our lives, if we had a crash, we would get up,
Call our
hopefully
mom.
get up, and shift our bike into the lowest gear before we got a wheel change. We just did that. We didn't need some robot to go, I have detected a crash. We are going to fix everything.
Ask Calvin Jones
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
because
Why
he probably
crash
has
mode?
a true answer. I know there's got to be a reason, and
Fucking
it's
stupid.
to be honest with you, all manufacturers are not designing for bike racing. The stuff that we're running now is for the consumer, and very rich consumers now. There's my beef.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jackson,
I mean,
talk to me about the Americans in the race, and your opinions of the Americans that were here, and what we can either look forward to or what we should be concerned about, if there's any.
I think the
Cut you
nation.
off, Paul. Sorry.
no, that's fine.
I think the nation that's probably the most active at this tour was probably North America. Well, nation,
Yeah, with
continent.
Canada.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Um,
Canada.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that for just U.S. riders solely, I think that should be pretty proud. They should be pretty proud of themselves. I mean, Quinn Simmons was always in a breakaway. Matteo Jorgensen was also always in a breakaway. Nielsen Palace 4 seconds off the yellow. And fought as hard as he possibly could. I think third on wasn't Mont Ventoux. It was what was the climb Pidcock won on?
Alpe d'Huez.
Alpe d'Huez.
Alpe
Yeah,
d'Huez. Yeah, third I think on Alpe d'Huez, third, fourth.
Froome.
Fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Froome was third.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I thought it was really promising. I don't think we have any Grand Tour winners. Sepp Kuss has responsibilities and is probably getting paid well.
I don't think Sepp wants it right
No.
now.
No.
Not yet.
So yeah, I think they should be really proud of themselves, and it's good to see an American flag.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
The North American pro races should be amazing, just based on the 7, 8, 9 guys between Canada and U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really tough guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. I thought that it would go away post Lance era, post the drugs and all that we're going back to crits. No one's going to Europe.
Well, we are.
All of a sudden, but all of a sudden, there's a group of guys that
But
left.
there's more bullshit in the crits than there is in the European peloton
but
right now.
yeah, that left and are racing in Europe. It's amazing. There's guys that didn't make the tour teams that ride for Jumbo, that ride for, other teams that didn't make the tour. So it's pretty deep, actually.
Oh, God, I was going to ask this one about Paul from Paul. Talk to me about the Chris Froome situation. The crash, the recovery, a lot of time going, why is he still doing this? Why is he still doing this? And a couple of bright moments within this tour. Would Chris Froome be best to continue on, or should Chris just walk over, hang up his shoes, and say, thanks, everybody. It's been a wonderful trip. Thank you, everybody. I got back to the pinnacle of the sport. I'm done.
Easy bailout on that answer would be only he knows.
Yeah.
But I think what he's done and has accomplished, I mean, I think all of us here at one point in time didn't enjoy his type of racing. I mean, it wasn't inspiring at all. Probably the driest type of Tour de France is when he was in charge, but he was, I mean, when he attacked, like I'm thinking the Giro, when he won the Giro on Zoncolan, that one descent and went solo. He had some dramatic moments, but then it was all control. So, but after he crashed, and I know a lot of people there was of course, the haters out there saying, "Oh, he's just hiding from drug testing," and stuff. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But to fight back, I mean, I think that's inspirational as it is, and I can't imagine anybody not rooting for him.
It's like
And he's
Bernal
done.
too, right now.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if Bernal comes back.
And I heard somebody said he possibly will be doing the Vuelta, and that's
Wow.
insane.
No way.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know about that, but
Yeah.
I heard somebody say that's their intention.
I definitely was cheering for him because, and I was kind of like, when he was winning, I was like, the wife loves him. But I'm just like,
I
God, he's
forgot.
so fucking awkward, man. And
Yeah.
but Alpe d'Huez, man, I was like, fucking.
I was screaming.
on,
I was
man.
screaming. Yeah, I was yelling.
It's like the old guy with some crutches, with a cane,
Yeah.
with a walker.
Yeah.
And you're just like, come on,
Come on,
man.
Grandma. Get across that road. Get across that road. You can get there
Yeah,
before the
come
bus hits you. Yeah.
But about that stage, I have to say, the coolest thing about the Les Alpe d'Huez stage was Pidcock's descent.
Oh my
Oh, me
God.
pushed. Get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
if you look at his position on the descent, that is a school to learn how to corner on corners,
Oh,
go
my
around
God.
corners on the descent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look, his head is total level, so you get your balance, and he's a short guy anyway. He's 5'2" or whatever, and he really is. He's that short.
Yeah.
But he's got that bike over, but his head is constant. And he's looking down, setting up already. I mean, he's nailed it.
Mountain biking
Yeah.
cross.
Yep,
is-
exactly.
yeah.
So-
Something to be said about the other disciplines is about getting your
yeah.
bike out on every surface.
Everybody
possible.
should try
Yeah.
every discipline to learn. They do. I should. Doesn't mean you have to like it.
Yeah.
I've mountain biked. I've crossed, and they all suck shit. So what? I really, I found the holy grail, which is road racing.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
But they
give
should.
you that.
Everybody should try.
Yeah.
Try every. I mean, BMXers. If all the people I know at BMX,
Yeah.
like you,
Me. Yep.
that's where you really. If you start young
Yeah.
BMXing,
Yeah.
you can handle a bike.
You guys want to know? I did a BMX race once.
Once?
No.
Did you win?
No, I started second, finished last. dead fucking last. I mean, I was just like, hey, this is fun. I'm fast out of the gates because I'm a bigger kid.
Strong.
You know, I just then everybody, I came to a jump and it was like,
Yeah. You caught air, and they're like,
yeah, exactly.
They're
Just
pumping
standing
down.
around, standing
Yeah.
fucking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is with Wout not sprinting on the Champs-Elysees? You guys' personal thoughts? Anybody? It was for a photo op, clearly for a photo op. Is anybody okay with that?
I think it's kind of boring. He was like, it was definitely for a photo op, and he probably could have won.
Do you think that is a team decision?
oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
First,
But do you think he agreed to that team decision? Well, he did, obviously.
Yeah.
But do
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
he was okay with that?
well, he'd already won what, two or three?
Three.
Yeah, 3. So he
Yeah.
equaled his total for last year. But
And he had an overwhelming lead in the green jersey.
Yeah.
Or new record.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of boring because I think he could have beaten Jasper Philipsen, and I also think that that was a super boring sprint. I found it like, oh well, there goes Philipsen. Oh,
I don't know if
I think it
they,
had a lot
they
to beat the
moved the
shit out of
finish
him.
past that last corner.
Right.
Yeah.
It was longer.
And
Yeah.
it was another 300 meters, I think.
Yeah.
for
past that
2
last
years
corner.
though.
350.
It's the second year it's been that way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And with Tade and those guys jumping with a lap to go, I think
Yeah.
it kind of fucked people up a little bit.
Mhm.
I think they went out hard,
Yeah.
and I think people weren't right. Like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Okay.
I think a lot of teams, I mean, the standard lead out, what you expect, a lot of people were battered from the last 3 weeks
Yeah,
because this was a very fast tour.
Yeah.
And
a hard, hilly
Jakobsen, yeah.
tour. It's not-
Jakobsen that one time collapsed crossing just 16 seconds after the
Yeah.
cutoff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Michael Morkow. He's
Holy shit.
I mean, he didn't even make it, but he finished. He knew he was behind the time limit. But this is, I'm kind of jumping ship, but this generation, I really like the way they race. I like their attitude. Van der Goe reaching out and shaking after both of them almost crashed down the
Yeah.
hill. It's like, hey, this is truce. And I've heard several journalists saying that they didn't like that. There's no narrative because everybody's a nice guy. And I mentioned it to
We
you
did.
on that
Yeah.
on the ride. I was like, this is much better than what happened at Salt Lake with in the U.S. Crit Series where they had got in a fist
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
I'd much rather see that.
Yeah. Well, and
But you know what the shame is that crit beef got probably gigantic headlines in the States.
Yeah.
More
Well,
than,
we like Maury
more
Povich
than
and fucking-
Jonas and Tade shaking hands
Yeah.
and being professional to each other, because if it bleeds, it leads.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's this mentality that we got to cover the drama, and that's what we're all just fucking up to our necks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for professionalism and
Yeah.
what those guys showed in the moment, in the not attacking a down guy for any reason. It was opportunities. You could see Pogačar attack like on cobbles or a couple other times where it was fair, and Jonas was so strong. It seemed like, okay, I don't need to attack you now. I'm still.
Yeah.
He was a level ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, so the confidence for him to go, I don't need to take advantage of this. Even with the time trial
Up ahead. Yeah.
it's like,
It was cool.
yeah.
I
And
liked it.
that was going into Otakam. That was
That Yeah.
was with one climb to go. Otakam, right?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
when Tade crashed.
and he
Had Wout up there, and he had all this like, look, I don't need to attack
I have two
now.
teammates
It's a downhill.
Up. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, watching Wout drop Pogačar was the fucking highlight of my.
he only was on for
Life.
like a kilometer, I think. But I've never seen Wout pull as many faces as he did in that
Yeah,
kilometer.
it was suffering.
Like almost tipped
Yeah.
over when he pulled
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Cool.
Jackson, in your personal opinion, could Mark Cavendish have won anything in this tour?
I think he could have. Let's say Michael Morkow makes it all the way to Paris. I think he would have won on the Champs-Élysées.
You think so?
Yep. And I think that.
Oh my God, would that have been a moment?
Unless you threw a chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they might have brought the wrong sprinter.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Because I think Jakobsen fought, and he fought hard.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
And they got the stage.
They got
A stage.
ace.
They got
that's,
two.
Well, the time trial is different. I mean,
Yeah, it's. But I think I don't think that Fabio Jakobsen showed that he was the most dominant sprinter of the year, because we were saying he'd won the most sprints or just races, right? Sprints.
Races.
going
Yeah,
into
he'd
this,
won the most races. I didn't see that
Wow.
on sprint days. I saw that Wout was better or Philipsen was better. Philipsen came
consistently
out. Yeah.
almost as good as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that Quick Step didn't set themselves up for that type of race. I think they just set themselves up to kind of felt like just to ride the tour.
It would have been a different tour with Alaphilippe and Cavendish.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been more of a quick
As far
step.
as cast of characters, I mean, this is the
Mm-hmm.
style of the race.
Yeah.
Final grade for the 2022 Tour de France, Paul Main.
I give it an A, not an A plus, because I think as cool as it was in Denmark with the people and jam packed, those are probably 3 stages that were kind of lackluster.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as they got into France,
Unless
stage
you're Magnus
4,
Court.
Yeah, I mean that was
Yeah.
cool, posting up, giving his points. You
Look
know,
at
there were some
Denmark,
highlights.
though. I mean, Magnus Court and the winner, and starting in Denmark.
Yeah.
You can't
And
ask for
even-
a better story.
Even today's in the Femme.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 We're going to get to that. Jack, letter grade.
A plus.
Plus.
A
Okay.
plus.
Okay.
Yeah, most entertaining tour in
Yeah.
years.
Without a doubt.
I mean, you go back to the Lancers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Well,
just
it's better-
national pride.
To me, it was better
Is it-
than
well,
any
yeah,
match.
I
definitely.
agree it was.
But it was. We couldn't have predicted. Nobody predicted this,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up being more special even in the end than we could have thought with a week to go.
Yeah.
With the last show.
Jackson, final grade.
I would also give it an A. There were some kind of like stages that I was like, oh, these kind of suck. Kind of the ones that were just like, oh wow, there's a climb right at the end, and then like Wout won.
Oh, okay.
You know, some of those days I was like, oh, it's kind of like
Really,
that.
that's boring.
Well, it's like-
I'm not a Wout fan.
I am
He
a Wout.
picked Wout.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because it's just kind of like
Not again.
I
Yeah.
guess you're bored
Yeah.
with his winning or something.
I-
You expect it, but
I'm really a fan of Wout when he wins in the classics, but after a while in the Grand Tours, it's like, oh, there's a stage with a hill at the end. Wout's gonna win.
wow.
Or Tade's gonna win. It's kind of predictable.
Kids these days.
Kid- here's-
He didn't suffer through
Yeah.
the Miguel Indurain years and the Lance Armstrong years and the stuff
But
like that. You know?
I liked the unpredictability of the GC altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I found that some stages were boring, like the classic season this year,
Mm-hmm.
I found that some of them were very predictable. Paris-Roubaix, kind of predictable after a while. Just because you see an attack going, you're like, oh,
That's
that's
it.
a race.
That's race.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I agree with you.
I will add on to about winning 3 stages. Jumbo Visma won 6. That's about a 30% of all the stages,
Yeah.
and he won half of those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's impressive.
Guys,
Yeah.
Yeah,
guy's a phenomenon. He's
exactly.
something
And
else.
I don't know if you guys saw Sagan's interview at the end of the race,
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
and so that's where I got where Jakobsen threw a chain. He threw a chain. He was right there too, and he just said that
What
I
chain
think
did they
Wout-
throw? Were they going into their little ring or what?
no,
Where's
You don't
this
want me to
chain
get
go?
technical.
Where
We're
is
in
it
the crash
going?
mode.
There's no room to go nowhere.
it's off the front.
Crash mode,
It's
Jack.
because they're running 12 speed and they have some of the parts, the way I understand it, they're still running some 11 speed on the 12 speed on the back end, and they're not totally sticking because there's supply issue. I don't know if you guys know.
What?
that.
I got 12
What?
speed.
What?
Yeah.
How did
Yeah.
how the Pro Tour not got
You're the
12 speed?
one. You
It's
fucked
my
over
fault.
Peter Sagan.
What size is your
what
big
does
ring?
Peter Sagan ride?
Shimano.
Oh,
They're
okay,
both
so
all
fuck. I
Shimano's.
didn't. Yeah, I'm a SRAM guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're all Shimano
okay.
that's having this problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to say another thing. Sagan, they asked him. I have to add this. They asked, was this a tough tour for you? He goes, no, it was easy. They go,
Yeah.
easy? He goes, absolutely. He goes, I wasn't in the green or anything.
I didn't have to
the
do
press.
shit.
Yeah, I didn't have to. I just went back, and he goes,
So I
"This is
got
the
to go back
easiest
to my
one yet."
room.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The other last thing I got is with all the posturing people are doing for like, oh, I got second place or oh, I got third. This did not happen in the top 10. The top 10 churned
We're
like
fighting.
Yep.
We're
fucking
fighting.
butter,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end, even with the final time trial, there are guys that went out of the top 10. That guys that were out of the top 10 came into the top 10,
which made it an
pretty
even better
fucking
tour.
amazing. Yeah.
And what would you give it for a grade?
I was gonna definitely give it a solid A, especially based upon the last 10, 15 years of the tour, where we've been seeing predictability. And I don't mean to diminish the victories that these riders have taken and these riders have pulled off, but I love watching a race where within the last week, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. That's the point.
Yeah.
I hate watching a race where it's like, oh, well, yeah, so-and-so attacked, or there was a time trial. Miguel Indurain just took 4 minutes out of everybody in the time trial, and that's it. Because he can tempo those mountains.
We all worried about Pogacar with just a 2 minute and 20-second lead, and it became a 3 minute and 40-second lead. We all worried that
about that time trial.
It wasn't going to be enough.
Yeah.
And he fucking beat Pogacar in the time trial.
Well, I have another thing to say.
Almost flew off the road doing
but
another thing to say about Pogacar is I feel like, this was his tour to lose. I think it's also important to look at the fact that he was the second place on the green jersey competition.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The fact that nowhere near a sprinter
and he's
got second.
I don't mean to diminish Jonas Vingegaard, but Tadej Pogacar is, in my mind, the most important rider in the sport right now.
Yep.
Look at the next
Wout
5
is
years.
the second. Wout is the second, but Tadej Pogacar is the most important.
Look at the next 5 years with these fuckers. I mean,
it's going to be
and throw Roglic in there. Roglic, if he'd have some good luck during the tour.
Don't throw Roglic anywhere because he'll crash.
I know.
He had two broken vertebrae on that last stage before he dropped out. He had two broken vertebrae and he finished.
And he still rode.
And he rode his ass off to secure a Vingegaard.
Take that,
knives in his back.
Take that, Jackson. He didn't just
Jackson
running with a car. He broke two vertebrae, man.
Yeah.
No, they're brutes, man. They're just.
Thanks for getting the joke, man. You know what? We got to get to the final points. I hope you guys did your points tallying.
No,
did you guys tally?
I got zero. I got zero.
So we
I did. I tallied all my points, and I included Tadej.
I haven't had
in
the
my
time.
points. You haven't had the time.
I haven't had time.
I've
been riding.
Let me see.
No, I've been riding. Just put a big fucking zero on my. No, that's the women.
Okay, where's yours?
No, we got the
I didn't
women
bring
out
it.
here. Yeah.
It's somewhere else.
Am I gonna have to speed through the points?
Oh,
I know mine.
I got zero, dude.
Okay. We probably have a pretty good idea.
What did you end up last week? What was your?
I don't know because I redid everything. Because last week I had forgotten
He
to put
forgot
in
about
most of my
Pogacar.
Tadej Pogacar points. Okay. After all of my stages, before the final jersey was tabulated, because you get points for the final jersey, right? For 50 for yellow and 30 for the other ones. I had 29 points based off of all my riders, based off of stage wins, top 1, 2, 3. And then because I picked Tadej Pogacar, I got 30 more points, which leaves me a total of 59 points.
Nice.
I'm probably going to make Jackson go last because I have a feeling it's going to be the opposite of a crash.
So I didn't tally my points, but I can tell you I picked Roglic as the winner. I did pick Vingegaard a second, but that don't matter.
Well, you got stage points for Vingegaard.
But I picked him as second.
No, you picked him as second.
So
you
I got
just your
nothing.
4 riders.
Right.
Doesn't do
all.
shit.
And
Yeah,
I picked Matthew Vanderpool as my because I thought fucking Wout. I am a way bigger Wout fan, but I thought Wout had to protect the guys, Roglic and
Who's your
Vingegaard.
third rider?
Fuck, I don't know. I mean, some French guy, right? I said some French guy, like fucking.
That's what you said.
I
Quote some French guy.
Yeah,
Then
so
quote.
any French guy I get
Any
points
French
for.
guy. You're
You got one.
Yeah, that's
Still
it.
a port.
I know, right? So I got like 1.5 points. So fuck me.
So anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Paul, did you get a chance?
Toddy had what, three
Did you
stage
not get a
witches?
chance to tally your points?
Yeah, well, we both kind of skipped Toddy, and we both had Toddy. So
Everybody you all had Tade, by the way. I went Roglic because I'm more like Paul.
Do you want me to go speed round?
In the heart.
Stage 1, Lampert, Van Aert, Pogacar. Stage 2, Jakobsen, Van Aert, Pedersen. Stage 3, Groenewegen, Van Aert, Philipsen. Stage 4, Van Aert, Philipsen, Laporte. Stage 5. This is for everybody at home, too. They can do their points now. Simon Clark, Taco van der Hoorn, Edward Bossenhagen. 6. Pogacar, Matthews, Gadu. 7. Pogacar,
Who was second on the last one?
Matthews.
Okay.
Who picked him?
You did.
7. I was on 7, right? Pogacar, Vingegaard, Roglic. Roglic? He got third? Shit, nice job, dude. 8. Van Aert, Matthews,
Point.
Pogacar.
I got a point.
There you go.
9. Jungels, Castroviejo, and Verona. If any of you pick those, you're full of shit. Magnus Cort, Nick Schultz, Luis Leon Sanchez for 10. 11, I'm going quickly through the race. Jonas Vingegaard, Nairo Quintana, Romain Bardet. 12, Tom Pidcock, Louis Menkes, Chris Froome. 13, Mads Pedersen, Fred Wright, Hugo Hull. By the way, Fred Wright, that guy's a fucking stud.
Yep.
14, Michael Matthews. Bing! Alberto Bettiol, Thibaut Pinot. 15, Jasper Philipsen, Wout van Aert, Mads Pedersen. 16, Hugo Hull, Valentin Madouas, Michael Woods. Oh, God, what a heartbreaker that he couldn't start the last stage because he got a COVID positive.
That sucks.
The last stage. Stage 17, Tadej Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, Brandon McNulty. Fucking way to go, Brandon. 18. Oh, God, I almost said, let's go, Brandon.
Well, you just did.
No, he said
Jonas,
way to go.
But then I said
but
it.
then he just
But
said
then I said it. Jonas Vingegaard.
He's gonna hashtag you.
Tadej Pogacar, Wout van Aert. That stage alone. That was 3. That's unbelievable. 19. Christophe Laporte, yes, for Philipsen. Alberto Dainese, or however you pronounce it. Stage 20, Wout van Aert. Jesus, Jackson, you just crushed us. Jonas Vingegaard, Tadej Pogacar.
What was the difference between Vingegaard and Wout? Like,
Stage-
how much did he ease up?
Anyway, stage 21. I got to get the stages done.
This is 21.
We're running into this stage and into a show.
Overtime.
Jasper Philipsen, Dylan Groenewegen, and Alexander Kristoff.
I will have to say that if we got to pick
You have
three,
to say nothing. You
if
didn't
we got
do
to
your
pick
points.
3, if we got to pick 3, and I had Vingegaard in my 3, I'd have tons of points.
Yeah.
Well,
Tons
you
of
don't.
points. But we didn't pick 3.
But you don't, Jack. You've got,
I got
4
one.
riders total.
Would have. Should
Paul,
have.
Paul, give me a points total.
26.
26 plus the jersey.
Oh, yeah.
The white
Plus
jersey
30.
is
Fuck
30
you guys.
points.
Jesus.
So you got 56. We were only off by 3 points.
Yeah.
I'll skip to Jackson. Jackson, how did your Tour de France go?
I got 105 points.
Doubled us up.
Yeah.
We got slapped. Almost as bad as Jack's gonna get slapped.
I will say my
If slapping is the only thing, I can handle that.
Oh, we're gonna anyway, Jackson.
I will say my fiance also played this game and she got 62 points.
So she beat you.
So she got
Shit,
second,
beat both
too.
of us, Paul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You guys suck.
Yeah, we do. How'd you know? Somebody tell you? Is it
Jack-
on my breath?
Jack, can we only assume that you've lost?
Oh yeah,
We could
I
just
fucking-
declare it, right?
Yeah, I think it was fixed.
We don't have a punishment.
Oh good,
gentlemen.
Oh good.
Yeah.
Hey, can we ride like 7 days a week or something?
Should I open that to the listeners?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. What do you
Especially
want?
What
because they
is
know
a
who it is.
proper
Yeah.
punishment
What do
for
you want
Jack?
Jack to do?
And how can we document it? There we go. You guys,
All right.
we're well into our show, but I do want to get to the fact that the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift is underway. I sent out a start list last week, and you guys have them in front of you right now. Because we're 3 stages in, it's going to be hard to, say who
I
you
picked
think
Voss.
is,
I mean, I'm
yeah,
gonna get one
who,
in. I'm
who
gonna win
you're
this
gonna-
one.
Who you're gonna think is gonna do well. But we did the same thing. We did the overall, the sprinter, the outsider, and the opportunist. And I have to ask you guys permission because I will start first. And for my overall, I picked, because I will always pick Lisa Longo Borghini. My outsider, I picked Lotte Kopecky. I picked my opportunist, Ellen Van Dyke, who is a teammate of Lisa Longo Borghini, which might mess things up for me a little bit. But I also picked as my sprinter Mariana Voss. So I need to know if that's okay with you guys, because technically she is a team leader. But can I classify her as
She's
my
got the
sprinter?
green jersey.
She's got yellow.
Yellow.
She's got the green jersey too.
Yeah, that's right.
Does she?
She's
So
been finished
she
with
is.
that.
She is in the sprint in the league.
Okay,
Yeah.
so those are my
So that's
4.
fair.
And I did not. I looked at Annemiek van Vleuten. This was before I found out she was dealing with stomach issues and things like that. By the way, I don't think this is the end of Annemiek van Vleuten. I think we're going to see some fucking fireworks from her. But anyway, who
Especially
wants?
to look at the last stage.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, shit's gonna.
I
get
have
real.
her.
Shit's gonna get real.
Tomorrow is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It's gravel.
Yeah.
No fuck.
Oh.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Strada Bianca stage.
Yep.
Who wants to throw out their names?
You can tell me if can Cassie Inuiadoma be like an outside for the GC?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I
Cool.
think so.
What?
Hey, Paul said yes.
Yeah.
So
She should be a leader.
So
but I picked Mariana Voss. So you're okay. We'll give that.
So I picked Annemiek van Vleuten as my leader. My opportunist was actually Cecilia Uchip Ludwig.
Oh, good. What? Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, what a horrible day they had yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get into that. Yeah, go ahead.
My sprinter, I also picked Mariana Voss.
Okay.
And then, was that it? Oh, yeah. And then my outsider was Cassie Inuiadoma for the GC.
Okay. I like those. Those are good names.
Are you still picking?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah.
still picking?
I mean,
You
no,
can't
I'm
be
not. I got
picking.
Voss, but
You got Voss.
I got Van Vleuten.
You can't go wrong. If
Longo
you
and Borghini.
I'm tired of hearing the term goat, by the way.
no.
I love
Me too.
Mariana Voss, but I'm tired of people saying,
Yeah,
she's
it's
the
just
goat,
comparing
she's
her
the
to
goat,
Tom
goat,
Brady.
goat, goat,
Yeah.
goat, goat. Yeah, it's just like, no, she's fucking unbelievable, but quit using that word. Anyway, Paul.
So Van Vleuten as my leader.
Yeah.
And I actually went with Ludwig for my opportunist. And I know it sounds goofy, but I actually the opportunist should be Demi Vollering. So I picked her.
Oh, wow.
And then Ludwig as kind of the sprinter, which he kind of did. And
Ludwig
these are
paid
things,
off
yeah,
already.
I thought I was screwed because I already made my picks before, just to say, hey, and I didn't send it to you guys. This is who I picked.
Watching
And then I'm
FDJ
like,
jerseys.
yeah, you
just
guys are
flying
gonna go
all over
like,
the road.
yeah, of course you picked her because
Yeah.
she won today. And then of course Voss.
Yeah.
This is my fourth.
Jack.
How can you go wrong with Voss?
Voss, sprinter winner.
He's just picking
You picked
Voss.
Voss for you picked
Sacrificed one.
winner.
You genuinely picked the same rider twice.
Okay,
You
so,
can pick 4 names, but you are
yeah.
only going to pick 3 because you just want to double stamp
Yep.
somebody.
Yeah, why not? I
The
gotta.
fuck?
If I win this, it balances out my loss in the men's race, right?
Jack,
So-
you had 0 points. I don't think it's ever
I
going to
had
balance
one.
it out.
I think I had one.
So you had 1 point. It's
had
never going to
one-
balance anything
one
out.
I went through that whole goddamn roster of top 3s, and you
What?
came out with 1 point. I went through every stage,
yeah, but
and
I
you came out with
picked
1 point.
Vingegaard as my number 2 rider, and he won.
There are no
count.
2 riders. So you
to
so,
Roglic.
Jack,
I mean, you know,
Jack,
whatever.
I'm telling
And
you,
so-
I'm throwing this to you. I'm lightly tossing it underhanded to you. No, stop for a second.
Longo
Because no,
Borghini
it's just you need to
and-
listen. You're picking Voss twice. You don't pick the same
so
rider
I
twice.
get that, but right now
You're not
she
gonna
has
get
the
double
yellow
points.
and the green.
That's great. But
She's really good.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
take it.
so,
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep, and then Van Vleuten.
Jack, you're gonna end up like riding naked
It's
for 100
fine.
miles
It's fine.
February.
It's fine.
Out of all the punishments here, it's just gonna.
So
It's
you're only
all
picking
good.
2?
It's all
You're
good.
only
No.
picking
I got
okay.
I got Longo Borghini and Van Vleuten.
and Voss.
So you want me to pick? You want me
No,
to pick?
you're fine.
No, I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm
I-
gaining
you're-
points.
you're-
Voss. I'm
you're
just
a
getting
fucking
all
lunatic.
But we all
points.
get the points.
Yeah,
because you got Voss.
we all pick
Yeah,
Voss.
we all pick Voss.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, that's
Been said.
I spoke too
The
soon.
vault has been closed. There we go.
It's too hot in here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's too hot.
So
I'm
if she
thinking
wins,
straight.
but
Talk to
you
me.
guys do realize if she wins the yellow and the green, and you didn't pick her for
No,
yellow,
it doesn't matter.
then I get 2 jerseys.
Jack,
So
We
do
would
we.
have.
we
So
all
would we.
picked her name,
Yeah, but that's
so we get the
We'll,
point.
we'll give you 1 extra point. How about
Yeah.
that?
I got one in the
No.
men's race. So.
No way.
Somewhere, somebody is listening to this right now, just going, "No, what the fuck's wrong with you?"
Oh man.
And we're all
So
just
much.
like, "Yep,
So
right there
much.
with you, man. Right
Yep.
there with you." All right, you guys. I know this is a monumental moment in women's cycling. It's a gigantic thing, and I see people from my past. I see Inga Thompson there. I see how wonderful this has been for the sport. Can I ask a genuine question? Is this going to live up to the hype? And is it what's the word I'm looking for? Is it justifiable as something that is so great? My problem is I looked at the parcours of the course, and I'm not going to lie. I looked at the parcours and I went, well, no, this isn't a Tour de France for the women. I don't like that it's only 8 stages, and I know I shouldn't look at gift horse in the mouth. Oops.
Will it increase?
I don't know, and that's my thing. Does it live up to the hype? Does it live up to this monumental thing, or are we as cycling fans and fans of women's cycling just taking what we can get?
We need to interview Anna Mariah.
Anna Mariah's there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And God, by the way, God, please listen to her. I think she's with Cycling Tips people.
Yeah,
Right?
I haven't caught
Cycling
on.
Weekly.
Cycling Weekly. Yeah.
Shit. Sorry. Yeah. I wish I edited because I could change that.
Yeah.
But
Cycling
listen-
Weekly. Cycling Weekly.
Yeah, say it 5
listen
times.
to Anna
Yeah,
Mariah.
there we
Listen
go.
to Anna
See what
Mariah
it is.
and pay attention to what she's doing over there. She's doing some cool shit. But what do you guys think? I mean, I don't want to diminish the importance of this event, but I also don't want to say, oh, we're good, everything's fine. The guys get a 3-week tour. The women get it 8-day.
I guess what a start.
Yeah.
And there should be and will probably be more to come from this. I mean, we're seeing a lot of publicity about it, which I think is really cool. Yeah, I think there's more to come. I don't think this is the end of it. I mean, obviously the race is going to keep going for years and years. With a sponsor like Zwift, it's not stopping here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I said, more to come. I guarantee it. I guarantee it will not stay 8 stages for our lifetime.
The question
He said our lifetime. So that's
well,
good.
His
'Cause that
lifetime.
means that means
we're
quicker.
gonna live as long as
That means
oh.
quicker. Yeah.
The next 15 years.
So we got 15 years. So one, is it better to start on the Champs Elysees and have it independent
A continuance kind of a thing.
of it?
Yeah.
To give it its own, or the B race for the men's at some point? I mean, so I think I think it's better to be independent. That's for one. One thought. I think it will grow. There'll be more, but there needs to be more depth. I mean, the field is pretty big, but it's not quite as big as the men's race.
Yeah.
Maybe not 21, I mean, maybe half or starting a little more than 8. 8 seems a little like a US type race, for the Tour de France.
It's a 1-week stage race.
Yeah.
It's a
but I
Paris-Nice.
think it needs to be more than it is
It's
right
not
now.
a grand
immediately.
tour. And
Yep.
I mean, that concept of a grand tour.
But I think
what
it's
you hope for.
important that it's not the pre-race to the men's race. It's it's independent standalone, and that's
I'm
that's
glad
really
I'm glad it's not
important.
running at the same
Yep,
time.
yep.
I'm really glad it's not
Yep.
running at the same time.
That didn't work out, did it?
No.
That's
No.
what they used
Yeah.
to do.
I know.
Well, if you
And
talk
they
to
had to take more breaks because they had amateurs. The ruling back then. Well, go ahead. Plug
No.
the person you interviewed.
No, Marianne Martin would probably be
Yeah.
like, "No, I was cool with it."
Yeah, but they had, because of the ruling back then, because they had amateurs also racing in order to get the field, they had to have more rest days in that time period. The only professionals were able to do like straight X amount. So I mean, it's all changed. My take on everything is, I always like starting small, and this is coming from almost a 60-year-old white male. So, but I do enjoy. I try and follow women's cycling, but when it's like the classics and stuff, it's I have to get up at 2 a.m. And watch the women's, and it's just like a 10-hour production to go through the women and the men's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them back on the same day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Paris-Roubaix, and I mentioned this before last year, I thought it was the greatest thing, this precursor
The day before, yeah.
It really created its own. And I think, personally, women's racing has different tactics than men, and that's not to say bad. I think there's some to learn from
That's
them.
what makes it actually really cool.
Exactly.
Is it's not going to unfold the same way.
Yeah.
WNBA, and not to like stray, but there's huge following from WNBA, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
And it's not the same day.
And that doesn't mean it's bad.
It's not the same, everything.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know if it should be or if that's what they're aiming for, and people shouldn't look at it when watching it. Again, this comes from almost a 6-year-old white male, but I think you got to start with a baseline. I don't know where my. And after 8.
There is a camera.
Sweating out there.
There is a camera.
More to sweat, the better.
Yeah.
Let's keep sweating out there.
So, but to me, you got to start with a baseline. Everything starts with a baseline. This is 8. Survey all the riders, all the teams, everybody, and chip in. Do you want it longer? Do you want stages longer? This is where we're going to go. I like that it's after, because you talked about earlier in the show, we had the doldrums, but I don't. I'm waking up and I'm watching the women's races.
I am too. My wife walked into the TV room and into our living room on Monday and was like, wait, I thought it was over. I'm like, it is. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's a brand new race. And then I look at her and I say, oh, by the way, Classic San Sebastian is also this weekend. She's like going, fuck, this is never over. You're never going to work on the yard. And I went, yeah. That's right.
On the personal basis, to start where the
It's
men's
bike racing
ended.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till December, honey.
Yeah.
I'll be out there.
I'll mow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we saw.
I
what
won't
you
shovel
did
the
with
snow,
Yeah, we saw what
but-
you did with the driveway. I mean, obviously.
God damn it. That had to come back.
But to me, it's like start just picking up where the men, to me, it was like a nice, feed through. The men finish there and the women take over. And they have several different courses, although they mirror some of the courses that mirror the men's. And it's not, you don't want to compare the women's race, the same courses like, oh, well, the guy, you got the redneck going, oh, guys did it like 10 minutes faster up that hill,
fuck that. Yeah.
that type of thing. So I think a good survey afterwards and I think it's a great baseline. And I like what they've done, and I like that Zwift has dumped a lot into it. I think we're going to see this thing, like Jackson says, it's going to multiply. And, some guys think even racers think three weeks on a freaking bike, if it wasn't tradition, is stupid.
It is.
Yeah.
It kind of
I've
is.
done 1 week stage races and like, oh, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah. Everything hurts.
Yeah, everything.
Maybe
not normal.
Maybe they should just turn it into a big bike packing tour.
Fuck that.
All right, next question.
But before we finish up, you guys talk to me about. Okay, we all bailed on the crit weekend this weekend,
thanks,
and I do have to say, I looked through the results of the crit.
I didn't race, by the way.
I didn't see your name.
Yeah.
either.
Yep.
And I have to say that I noticed that from our region, there were no names, none, not a single one, and part of me was trying to think about it, going, well, it's so far away, gas prices, it's a 35-minute crit, yada yada yada. And then I also thought about the fact that here we are on a platform where we're talking about the decline of bike races and things that aren't happening because people just aren't showing up. And I don't want to slap any of our hands. But I also want to wonder, but I also want to go, God damn, what do we? They're putting on races.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't show.
No.
Yep.
Neither did you. Shit.
Yeah, and I live right now in the town. I went for rides that day.
You didn't even
the
watch
town.
the race?
Fuck
You didn't
that.
support it?
No, I.
Oh, you're a bigger dick
I'm
than
the
I am,
bigger
then.
dick. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even
yeah.
have to spend gas money.
In my defense, I got hit by a car, so you guys should all
No.
take
Yeah.
You
mercy on
would
me.
have
Okay,
been
you're
at the
out.
race.
You're
Still
out.
happened.
Yeah, you
still
would have been
happened.
hit by a
No,
car if you were at the
You would have
race.
been hit by a car in a crit, which would have given you like legal repercussions.
He wouldn't
you
have
know.
been hit by a car in the crit.
No, somebody
He
would have
been
swept him
safe.
out
Yeah.
in the corner.
Safe in the crit.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
So, but I guess my point is we're not perfect people,
No.
you know, and I guess I will speak for myself. I dropped the ball. I should have gone and raced my bike this weekend, but I didn't.
Should have.
Does
But you
anybody-
would have if I'd been there, or
Yeah.
Jackson.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
If I would have said
Absolutely.
I'm racing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
you had
have.
to come down.
Did you just wink at me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good wink. It was very subtle. I liked it.
I'd have put you to work, but
kind of warmed me up. But no, I would have gone if somebody else would have, and that's my thing. And I don't mean that to sound like a cop out, but yeah,
Well, it is.
It's better
I'm
with
just
friends.
not there yet.
It is. It is. You're right.
It is. It's
You
a
know what?
long drive.
And with that being said, I am putting my name down for an event which I will probably cop out on a week from this Saturday. I seriously think I am going to do the Midnight Century because I was thinking that I need something. I need an event. I need something to ride. And we started off the summer with the Chafe Gran Fondo, and I enjoyed the shit out of that, even though it hurt like hell.
Which
and
you
I'm like,
won.
Are you putting all your
no,
packs
I
on?
didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I
You
did
won.
not fucking win that thing. But I am thinking, you know, I got to go out and I got to do something else. And so the Midnight Century is a great tradition in the Spokane area. It is, I think it predates gravel, even though it is on gravel, and it's a bunch of goofballs who just casually meet. And I'm gonna take a camera and I'll play around with that. And I think I'm gonna do that. I don't want to wait to ride until midnight, but fuck it. I guess, you know, I'm gonna do it. Do any of you guys? What do you guys have on the radar? Is there something to keep your little candle lit in terms of Insta?
I said candle.
Jack, what?
Cut him
what-
off. Cut
What's
this
Jack?
boy off.
What is making your
God.
little penis happy?
Oh, well, I need. Well,
Sorry, never
wait.
mind.
This is a cycling show.
I'll edit that out. I'll edit that.
Okay, so
Yeah, right.
you know, I have some fitness still to gain. I'm only riding an hour to an hour and a half a
So
day.
you're
That's
thinking.
crit fitness
So
right there.
you're
I'm-
in the
But-
next year mentality
but
that a lot of
17
us
miles
are in.
per hour is not crit. Like I have no interval training.
But
like I
Jack,
have nothing.
You're saying what a lot of us have been saying, this next year mentality. Jackson and
yeah,
Paul,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, you guys are the kings of this.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, you're okay because you have a lot of next years.
We're about to die.
What are you saying?
Oh my god.
But
We're this
it's just
close
this.
to death.
I'm tired of saying next year. I
Yeah,
don't want to say
yeah,
next year
yeah,
anymore.
Yeah. Well, I got cross season to look forward to. I'm running and I'm riding.
You're not gonna do fucking.
Fuck yeah, I'm good. I got an
gonna cross?
elephant.
You got a good bike.
Yeah, I got a good bike.
Yeah.
Were you going to do cross at on West Side or here?
I don't know. Where's cross racing?
I don't know. Next
Cross
year,
this year. Yeah.
Paul, what you got? You have
Actually,
signed up.
yeah, and Bike Fit Sam, and I'm wearing his t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he fit you again
Yeah, he's
He
going to
said
fit me
you-
on
That's
my
going to be the
TT bike.
race.
on your what?
On my TT bike.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that's
that'll
what it
be
is.
fun.
So the TT is in Wenatchee. Ace, who's done. Oh, we're all out of drinks. I can't say the name.
Tour de
Oh,
Blue.
you're drinking your spit then.
TDB.
Okay.
Tour de Blue.
Empty
Who does
glass.
that?
My spit tastes good.
Yeah. is putting on the state championship 40K TT. And I have a TT bike that's been collecting dust for about 5 years. So
Nice.
talked to
Pat's got a bike.
that's illegal now.
Yeah, I wish I could
Funny
ride it.
bikes
In
can't-
USA Cycling, it's illegal.
yeah.
If I would have lost the tour competition, I honestly would have asked them if I could pre-ride
Ace
the
would have
course.
done it.
If I could pre-ride the course on that, and we videoed it as my
Yeah.
punishment.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, there's an idea.
Oh, yeah.
Back is
Should I ask
so
him?
Yeah.
sore.
Yeah.
Where is this? Wenatchee?
Wenatchee. It's
Oh.
a Paradise.
What day?
Going up to Paradise. 29th of August, I believe.
Up to Paradise?
It's
Is
called
there a
Paradise Road.
Oh, okay.
And there's a small little town, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
that it comes off. It's between It's off the main highway between Wenatchee and.
You know how many Styx
Quincy.
lyrics running
So
through my
all
head right now?
masters, technically all masters should be able to like grandfather a bike like that in.
Yeah, no kidding.
like,
I bought this in 1986.
Why can't I
you know.
still race it?
And I shouldn't have to wear a helmet.
Exactly.
Like the NHL.
You're gonna be just lycra on your head.
Yeah. No, just the
Yeah.
hairnet.
Lycra.
Jackson, do you have anything on the horizon? Or are you just like, fuck it, I crashed, I quit bike racing?
Oh.
No.
That wasn't meant to be.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So
you
mean.
bastard.
No, I
yeah.
wasn't
And
busting
he's
your
your
balls.
son.
mean to you.
That's your son.
I know.
Abuse.
I'm
allowed to.
trying to physically get through the next week.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know what's really gonna come up. There's not really any racing
Yeah.
at all.
It's
And
volunteer park.
I want to crit or not. Yeah, I want to crit, and then I
Yeah.
want to Grand Fondo, and I don't know if I want to race another 100 miles like I did,
Yeah.
because that like it was great, but it was hard.
Yeah.
I'd rather do like road races or crits right now, and there's
You seem to be in that roadie mentality. Right
yeah,
now.
and there's really none of that right now.
Yeah.
So I gotta wait until RC3 like next year,
Shit.
So
Or
Seward Park.
oh shoot, we're out of drinks because before RC3 there's another race, stage race in
Yeah.
Wenatchee.
there is.
I can't
one
mention it
that-
because we don't
that-
have any more.
It's what
Right.
happens
Stage-
when flowers
Don't say it,
produce
don't say
at
it.
a certain
Yeah.
point of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody else has anything. That really sucks. And that
Well,
is
I
a
mean,
state of
there's
our-
always we have in September.
we have the Fondo.
Yeah,
Right.
that could be something, but you're nixing that.
Until September
Well,
1st, there's Seward Park Crit every Thursday night.
I know.
Where
I used to love that crit.
It's a great crit
Yeah.
course.
where is that?
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Off of Lake
It's only a
Washington.
3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
3.5 hour drive for an
For a
hour's worth of
practice
racing.
crit.
And actually,
Yeah,
it's at
seriously.
least an hour. It's long. I'm
Yeah, for
surprised.
1-2s.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised. It's over an hour or an hour. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how much more I had planned for this show? And I always do this. I write like 6 pages of questions.
What do
and
you got
that's
to do all
usually
What
pretty-
you prepare for this, huh?
Yeah, right.
I never would have known.
But I do want to say before we sign out a gigantic. Wait, we gotta
Thank
have
you.
Some,
You gotta have some.
happy music. Do I have any-
Don't do that little.
No, that's too
That's
dramatic.
fuck. Somebody funeral? I mean, that was like.
Oh. I do want to give kudos to our good friend and fan of the show, and he's been on the show several
Oh, yeah,
times,
yeah.
to the one and only Brent Soderbergh, who finished the Rift Iceland.
Yeah.
200K with over 7,000 feet of climbing around a fucking volcano. And I know a lot of you are thinking, like, I could ride 200K with 7,000 feet of climbing. This is brutal. I mean, it's soft, it's mushy, it's, it's
He's
river
on
crossings.
Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
took footage. I can't remember his.
I hope I
account.
can say bikes, birds, and beans, because I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bikes,
his
birds, beans?
Instagram.
is his Instagram. Check out what he did.
It's amazing.
Brent took great photos, and congratulations, man. That was fucking cool. That's an event I would do.
Oh,
I'm the only guy who wants this long distance junkie chatterbumps bullshit. Apparently, on
With
this,
some
in this
giant
part.
pack coming out of your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally out of
I
my
saw
ass.
that.
Yeah, because
It's like a
I'm not going to hook it to my seat post. I'm going to hook it to my ass. Hey, everybody, keep riding. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Well, I believe I found out that when we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we get some sort of a
Prize?
Well, you get a plaque.
like a plaque. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
plaque.
YouTube
so-
don't
wow.
care.
Yeah. What's that?
YouTube don't care.
I don't think
At
so.
500, you get a high five.
Yeah.
At 1,000, you get a plaque.
You get a plaque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Jackson's looking. Any commentary of anything like? Don't look at our subscriber list.
I was trying to see how many we had.
We've got some. We don't have 1,000. Hey, everybody, thanks, and keep riding, and cheer on the Tour de Femme avec Tour de France Femme avec